Hi, I'm Kristen Updike, and I'm going to start off with a little story. So, in a CNN Wire article, a lady named Katie DeSpace was interviewed, and she was originally a pro-life Texas woman, but she needed an abortion to save her life. She could not get that abortion because her life was not at immediate risk of death or danger, and her fetus still had a heartbeat. So she and her husband had to travel out of state to New Mexico to get the procedure done. When she came back, she was advised not to try for another child anytime soon due to her health risks and due to the state's abortion law, which was very dangerous for her. This kind of thing has been happening way more often than it should, and I don't know about you, but when I've looked at the news and when I've been just scrolling through social media, I've seen things about stories similar to this very often, and it's concerning. So what is the problem? A ban seems to be an problem. It has negative consequences, as we can see from this story, and there are many other stories just like it. And it does not seem to be saving the lives that the people who implemented this law and the people who wanted these bans and laws in place thought it would. And now it is risking people's lives, even people that want to be pregnant. But before we completely talk about removing a ban, let's ask, does a ban even work to reduce abortions? So, in a journal article by PLOS Medicine, it says, according to a modeling study of pregnancy intentions and abortion from 1990s to 2019, rates of unintended pregnancies ending in abortion are broadly similar regardless of a country's legal status on abortion. And unintended pregnancy rates are higher among countries with abortion restrictions. So this just kind of shows that even if a country has an abortion ban or something, the rates are not really any different than places that do not have some sort of restriction or ban. So it kind of just shows that an abortion ban doesn't work like they think it does. So it's not really going to reduce abortions. So also, a ban causes the law to get involved. It can tell a doctor when he or she cannot save a life. And that just goes against what doctors and just healthcare workers in general are taught to do, which is save people's lives. When the law gets involved, it gets very gray on if they can save that life. So what is the solution? A ban is in place because people want people to have less abortions. So how can we reduce abortions without a ban, since the ban is having negative consequences? So first, something that could really help is better sex education. According to Fact Forward, the South Carolina sex education requires to talk about abstinence being the best form of birth control. Contraceptives are mentioned, but they are not stressed. Also, they cannot talk about other kinds of sex outside of marriage. They cannot give out any form of birth control, including condoms or the pill, like some schools do. And abortion is not taught, obviously. And while, yes, abstinence is the best form of birth control, you can call it that, but this ignores the fact that some people didn't ask for it, and also just because you teach people something does not mean they are going to listen. And by just teaching them what not to do and not teaching them all the risks that can happen if they do it, it's going to just backfire. And this kind of leads me to my next point, which is talking about the risks of unprotected sex can also help reduce abortions, because if we are not talking in schools, I'm sure many schools like South Carolina, sex education laws like South Carolina do not talk about things like the risks as much as they should. And so people are going to try, and they're going to end up sorry later because they did not know all the risks. And this also doesn't even go for unplanned pregnancies. This could also talk about STDs and stuff too. So there are multiple reasons why better sex education needs to be implemented in schools. Another thing that could help is more affordable birth control and better access to it. So, in a study from the Washington University School of Medicine on free birth control said from 2008 to 2010, annual abortion rates among study participants ranged from 4.4 to 7.5 per 1,000 women. This is a substantial drop ranging from 62 to 87%. It's compared to the national rate of 19.6 abortions per 1,000 women in 2008. So this just shows that birth control can really reduce unwanted pregnancies and abortion rates in general. So all these things could really help just reduce abortion rates without a ban. They just need to be emphasized more. And then we wouldn't see all these lives being at risk. So with all this being said, I just want everyone to just think about this November as they vote. It's coming up. To think about how you want the future to look for women. If you are a woman, how do you want your future to look? Do you want pregnancy to be safe for you, even if that pregnancy is wanted? You can't control the complications. And if you were a man who cares about women and cares about someone that is a woman in your life, how do you want her future to look? And think about your future daughters. How do you want their future to look when it comes to pregnancy and just all these laws? So, yeah.